Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. In this video, I'm going to make a case why this week could be the last week we see Bitcoin under 20,000. And the reason why I think this is twofold. Last week, there was so much bullish news that was out, and I expect more of the same for this week. And also the second reason is because if you're a chartist and you're looking at some of the technical analysis for Bitcoin, well, it's looking very, very good. And I'm going to talk about both in this video. So let's start out with what was announced last week. And there was so much, just so much bullish news. First, out of the blue, and this is something that we've come to expect now, when companies just out of the blue declare they have bought Bitcoin. That's exactly what happened with Mass Mutual, which is an insurance company with over 160 years of history. Not only are they one of the biggest insurance companies out there, but they also have 235 billions of investments. 235 billion. They are absolutely enormous. And guess what? They decided to dip their toes, dip their toes into Bitcoin with a $100 million purchase. Not only did they dip their toes into Bitcoin, but they also dipped their toes into a Bitcoin company, NYDIG. They bought a small equity stake, and this company is like a mini Grayscale. They help institutions buy and store Bitcoin. So Mass Mutual, definitely an old institution, one that has hundreds of billions of dollars of investments out there, decided to buy Bitcoin. This is pretty big too. Microstrategy, Michael Saylor, last week declared that he was going to raise debt to buy more Bitcoin. He wanted to raise $400 million through convertible notes, and then that figure jumped up to $550 million. And at close, it was announced that $550 million actually jumped to $650 million. And not by his choice, it's because clients were asking for it. Clients wanted to buy these notes because they wanted to get exposure to Bitcoin. That's the main reason why you would want to buy these notes, and the main reason why you want to buy MicroStrategy stock at this point, because they are just one gigantic Bitcoin play, right? So now Michael Saylor has $650 million that he can buy Bitcoin with, and I expect that to happen in the near future. Now, one of the most respected men of Wall Street, Ray Dalio, who is the founder of the biggest hedge fund in the world, now is warming up to Bitcoin. When Ray Dalio talks, people listen. He is very, very well respected in Wall Street, and now he is saying that investors should have a little amount or have a place in investors' portfolio, and that is a pretty big endorsement. I know that a lot of other hedge funds, a lot of other wealthy individuals, billionaires, they're all listening to what he's saying, and if he's saying this is a pretty big thing. This is a good endorsement. Now, not nearly as respected, but still someone well known, the host of Mad Money and the CNBC analyst, Jim Cramer, has also declared he bought Bitcoin. In fact, my last video was about an interview between him and someone else from the street, and he was asked why he decided to buy Bitcoin and why now, right? Jim really stumbled upon those questions. He really couldn't explain why he bought Bitcoin other than it was low, and that was pretty much it. Now, the thing is, he opened up about Bitcoin on his Twitter and also on the street. He hasn't talked about it yet on CNBC and Mad Money. You know that's coming. CNBC is looking for more Bitcoin coverage. That is why they always bring on Brian Kelly and others to talk about Bitcoin. So Jim may not be ready to talk about it yet on CNBC, but we know that is coming. And of course, that's pretty positive because it does give Bitcoin more exposure, especially among stock investors that are thinking about Bitcoin, but they're still sitting on the sidelines, right? So this helps generate retail FOMO, and I do believe Jim himself FOMO'd into Bitcoin. And this last week, we have America's biggest bank, JP Morgan, and they are one of the biggest banks in the world. They came out and advised people to buy Bitcoin. Their wealth investment group, which advises very wealthy individuals and also companies, they basically said that, yes, you should buy Bitcoin because gold will be displaced by Bitcoin in a big way. They expect gold to have weakness from now on because they expect money from gold to be flowing into Bitcoin at this point. They show statistics how $9 billion left from gold recently. $9 billion, and how $2 billion went into Bitcoin, right? That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence at all, and they believe this will only continue. So think about it. Gold has about 9 trillion market cap between ETFs and gold bars. 9 trillion, where Bitcoin is only about 350 billion. There's a large difference between Bitcoin and gold, and at this point, we recognize that Bitcoin is a lot more useful than gold. So think about it. If a large amount of gold money, that $9 trillion flows into Bitcoin, that's going to make Bitcoin go up in a very, very significant way. And that is what JP Morgan believes. Lastly, I just happened to catch this on Twitter. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, someone that is well respected as a businessman, as a financial guru. Look at what he tweeted yesterday. Glad I bought Bitcoin. Next stop, 50,000. Wall of institution money coming 2021. Buy below 20,000. If you miss Bitcoin, buy silver. And he talks about silver and so forth. And then look at the last sentence. Future bright for gold, silver, Bitcoin, and entrepreneurs. Now, Robert in the past have talked about gold, Bitcoin, real estate. I'm surprised he didn't mention real estate in this tweet. But this, again, is a big endorsement. He's a well-known individual. A lot of people follow Robert Kiyosaki. They really like what he has to say. He kind of has the same views of Ray Dalio, which is basically cash is trash. Robert also believes in that and believes that inflation basically devalues your dollars. You don't want to hold dollars. That is why Robert himself holds a ton of real estate and a ton of gold and now Bitcoin. I don't know if it's a ton, but he is very glad. And he's also feeling the same thing, that institution money is coming in. It's going to drive Bitcoin much higher. So buy below 20,000 because it's going to be at 50,000 plus in the near future. Lastly, I just want to show you the chart really quick. As you can see, V-shaped recovery for Bitcoin. Not all the way back up to 19.5 yet, but it's getting there. $19,241. Not too long ago, Bitcoin did dip pretty significantly, right? All the way down to about 16.2. And guess what happened? A V-shaped recovery. This time around, a slower dip. I know this last week, people were feeling a little antsy. People wanted to see Bitcoin go much higher, but there's going to be breaks. And I said that. And look at what happened. A V-shaped recovery, a pretty quick V-shaped recovery. So now Bitcoin for this week looks like it's going to test 19.5 again. And if Bitcoin does break 19.5, holds and breaks above 20,000, then this next week may be the last time we see Bitcoin under 20,000. And everything I've shown you guys today in this video, all the bullish news, that is not going to stop. I anticipate that we're going to see and hear more of that this week. Random institutions coming out saying they're buying Bitcoin. Billionaire investors coming out saying they're buying Bitcoin, right? We could probably hear more news about Microstrategy as well, and more news from banks and other individuals talk about Bitcoin. This institutional FOMO that we're seeing right now is unprecedented in Bitcoin's history. We have never seen that before, and I do expect that to continue, and that's going to carry Bitcoin up in a big way. All right, guys. So what do you think? Are you as bullish as I am? Do you think this next week could be the last week Bitcoin is below 20,000? Leave your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel, and check out these other 2 videos.